the mistake that we make, and we, again, meaning the Black church, is that, we allow the political figures to come in and, and folks historically may be better on our issues than some other folks. And so we allow folks in and we rally folks. Yeah, make sure, vote for the right thing. And then we wait. We wait for life to get better. And we expect that whoever we voted for is just going to go know every problem, and we wait. And what we don't do is to use the democratic process as it has been designed, which is that before we vote, we have an agenda. We know what we want. And when the person comes in and asks for your vote, well, you say, well, what do you plan to do on A, B, C, and D? What are you going to do about Black maternal health in my community? What are you going to do about the 12-to-1 Black to white incarceration rate in my community? What are you going to do about the racial wealth gap? Where do you stand on issues like reparations? Where are you on all of these various issues? And this is what we're looking for. And then decide whether or not you vote for whichever candidate based on how they react and what they plan to do based on the agenda that you and your constituency has put together. Just like elected officials, especially as pastors, we have a constituency that we are accountable and that we serve, and we ought to hear from them and develop an agenda based on that and hold our elected representatives accountable to that agenda. Then after you cast your vote, that's just the ticket to the game, right? The vote is just the ticket to the game. Democracy is designed that after the vote happens, you don't wait. You begin to set up meetings and say, well, where are we with this? And you stay engaged throughout the whole process because you as a constituent of your federal and your state representatives, your councilman, whoever that is, they're obligated to pick up the phone. They need to talk to you. And the more engaged that you become with them, the better representative they'll be for you and the better representative they'll be as a whole. And so it's a win-win situation. So I strongly encourage folks to have a solid agenda, write it down, understand what it is, look at it, and see, is it in line or is it in a totally different place than some of the statewide and federal agendas that have been developed? Agendas are out there, and there are organizations that all they do is work on policy agendas, and then make yourself familiar with the actual policies and where they stand based off of the agenda that you built. And obviously for your particular constituency, there may be nuances that don't fully match up with some of the other agendas that have been developed. But for the most part, you'll see a Black agenda in Morristown will be very similar to a Black agenda that's been developed on a statewide level, or a Black agenda in Trenton. To put it very lightly, and I'll put it this way, even for the Black church, we're catching the same hell in Morristown as we're catching in Trenton, as we're catching in Newark, as we're catching in Camden, and we're catching in Atlantic City. The preacher at the preacher's best is one that not only understands how to preach, but understands how to work policy.